Three, two, one. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Microsoft Endpoint Manager Update Compliance Dashboard session we have today. My name is Werner Roll. I'm joined by my colleague Sneha Ray.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and let's get this session started.
Awesome. Okay, lots of customers or non-customers. Why should we look at the update compliance dashboard? If you've had this engagement already in an environment, we do give an upgrade option as well. If you don't have this in your environment just yet, um, let's take a look at why I would need or want this delivery. First of all, a lot of customers in their current state only focus on their current patching cycle, like this month to next month, and not never, but very rarely looking back at the previous history of what it was, right? And also, a lot of customers, leadership teams are telling us, listen, we don't really have the view that our admins have, and it's difficult for them to also take a look at that type of information and how to extract the right reports. There's also a lot of confusion sometimes between what updates are actually deployed and why or why not an update may have been excluded previously. And then with ACCM that also does automatic update rules, sometimes there could be a gap in when it was originally set up because somebody didn't understand how to redeploy it after a while because they think it's automated. Everything should be the way it was from automatically. And then a lot of the objectives that we have for our customers with this dashboard is to eliminate unneeded update and machine data. We want to make it easier and simpler to track your compliance data. And from a security team perspective, we also want the security team to get involved and not just have uh, those silos between the teams where it's this team's responsibility. Because at the end of the day, security is all of our responsibility. Okay, update compliance dashboard. Also exactly set out to help address specific business needs. We look at the security regulations for multiple sectors. Our target audience is from administrators all the way to leadership teams and people that have a Microsoft contract all the way to big enterprise unified customers. The reporting is easier. You have a dynamic interface. We use Power BI so that you don't have to go and log into some weird system that you've never seen before to try and pull a report that you're not comfortable with. Power BI, you log in with your Office account, one place to look at all your data. And then during the delivery, you also get expert advice from a Microsoft engineer that'll help you with best practices as well as identifying your current update management process and how to increase that and improve that.
Sounds really exciting.
It is. um, Another thing, size of company for that this delivery is for, big to small, new to mature, whether you're in the cloud, whether you're on premise, this delivery is for all sizes. Um, it's also a 4-day delivery where we do a scoping. We do a day one where we help you install it in a lab environment as well as a production environment. We also run some collections if it is an SCCM environment that you want to install this on. And then day two, we spend lots of time knowledge transfer. Day 2 to day 4 is also where we help you optimize, where we help you filter, where we help you maintain the solution going forward. We also end on day 4 with a leadership demo to showcase all the great new reporting that your leadership can use.
Absolutely.
Cool. Solution overview. What does this contain? From a more technical perspective, we have the config manager database in the background that runs some stored procedures and store this in the UCD summarized database. This database is where you can add exclusion filters, and all of this data together gets pulled into the Power BI dashboard that you will see in the next slide. Okay, this is what the dashboard looks like. Really awesome. I really like the look and feel of it. Don't know what you like about it now.
Oh, I love the way that we have one single place to look at compliance about each and every device in the environment. And not only that, we have a very clear picture of where we are going wrong, right? We can look at the updates not deployed information and we can clearly see why we have such bad compliance for previous patch cycle, right? And also, I love the fact that we do have last summarization timeline, so we know that this data is updated and there is no problem in the data summarization, right?
Exactly. And that just makes it easier for everybody that's either looking after the dashboard and also management that's looking at the dashboard to
Mm,
make sure this is
absolutely.
data from today. Yeah, of
Hmm.
course. And then as we can see, there's your 2 current months right here. And then you also have previous, which looks at as much data as you have ever collected in your config manager environment. So that just gives you that big picture all the way into history, right? We also have a great search tab that allows you to search for KB articles as well as specific collections in Configuration Manager. So this way you can see what updates are missing, and they also have a CVE tab in there that allows you to match up your KBs with the CVEs that you might have deployed. We have an exclusion section because we know not all environments patch everything. So maybe you have a specific tool that does your antivirus and you're not using the Microsoft one, then you could add exclusions for the patches that you are not really deploying. Great work here on the built-in admin guide. Now you also have a view of how to maintain this dashboard from within the dashboard. So you don't have to have multiple other sources. I know Snail always likes putting stuff together in one central place for people to work off of and not just multiple, sources. So
Absolutely. It's easier for us as well. Like we don't have to maintain a lot of documentation, and the customer also does not have to maintain a lot of documentation. It's there in the report.
100% exactly. There's a section called top scan errors. I mean, Snail will tell you the amount of errors we see in environments all over the world. Errors, the computer error is just a consistent thing. It's just something that happens. It could be from configuration. But what we really try and do with this section is to help you look at some remediations that could help you during your patching cycles, and some high hit confident scores that we have in here for items that we've seen across the world in customers, and how to fix those items.
So, can you explain like what is the confidence level means actually?
Yeah. So confidence level is out of the entire dev team that we have for UCD. How many times have we seen these errors in customer environments, and how confident we are from an internal the way we dealt with our customers experiencing these issues. So if it was more than 75% of the time getting fixed, then we would go with like a high. If we're not 100% confident that it fixed every customer's issue, then we'd go more towards a low. So it was from experience with real life customers.
Absolutely. So these are tested and tried methods.
100%. And reviewed by our peers as well. So if somebody said, I once deleted this file, and another person says, no, that wasn't what it was, it's this, then we've incorporated that in here.
Mhm.
One of the next features that we're really excited about is the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. We've built in the background of this solution a way to call the Defender for Endpoint APIs, and this will be used in future versions of the dashboard so that you have the exact same dashboard that you had for Config Manager, but now for Endpoint, Defender for Endpoint. So if you would like to use this data and make your life a lot easier and you don't want a config manager environment, or you're moving from a config manager environment to Defender for Endpoint, this is what you want. You want the single dashboard that links CVEs to KB articles. You can use, if you have had the solution before, it's the same view that you had, and Defender for Endpoint really is Microsoft's premier offering for when it comes to security and the cloud.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because of the report that we have in here, we have everything listed in one place, specifically related to vulnerabilities. So you really don't have to, search somewhere else. Everything is within this report. Just go ahead and, get this report.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. We're going to move over to a view at our data sheet and then also have a look at a quick demo of the environment. So, what do I mean with a data sheet? If you are a premier customer and you speak to your customer success account manager, this is what they will give you is a data sheet. The data sheet will tell you all the information that we've mentioned in this blog, how long the engagement is, and also some of the requirements that you need to run this engagement in your environment.
And you did mention in the beginning, Werner, that if somebody already has this, how can they upgrade? How can they ask for new version?
Yeah. So within the current version of the dashboard, there is a help button that you can click in the top right. That'll allow you to send a request for improvements. But we as the dev team get that via DevOps, and that means we'll have a work item that says, "Cool, we want an upgrade." If it's within 1 year of your previous engagement, then the upgrade is included. If you have a DAC engineer, designated support engineer, the upgrade is also added. But then if it is longer than that time, then you will need to book a new request with your customer success account manager.
That's great.
Awesome. Let's jump straight into the demo and have a look at what this looks like in a deployed environment. Awesome. So, really good colors. That's one thing, a big major change in this release of ours. Got some great input from the inclusion team at Microsoft, inclusion and diversity, about colors and how certain people need to read colors. And we've really tried to make this the most neutral and best color scheme on your eyes. So, we're really proud of that. This is the summary dashboard. As you could see, we can also, just getting a little refresh, we can also even do drill throughs on here. So that's really great. I like using some drill throughs into devices, scan errors, and also, as you can see, March, February, and all previous release cycles. The update search that we were talking about earlier, uh, just a small note, Snea, this is in the Power BI service. So you
Hmm.
can run the same report on your Power BI desktop, right? But
Hmm.
if you do want to share it with everybody else in your company, you publish it to the Power BI service, you share it from there, and that's how you can share it with others.
Yep. And you can also share it with Teams. I mean, that's integrated now. Like,
Yeah.
just use one platform.
100%. So then you could have a Teams chat. You can link it to the Power BI service straight
Yep.
into Teams. Everybody can see the same report in the same team, and they can say, "Hey, wait, this is missing. How do I install this?" Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
The search your collections for SCCM. You can drop down in here. These are configurable as well. As you can see, we also have co-managed. So if you are one of those co-managed customers, we do include that. Um, CVEs that you can filter on. Let's have a look at the CVE search functionality. Here we have all the CVEs as well as their impact and their severities. And you can come
Hmm.
in here and drop down, and you can even search if you know that it is CVE 2022 and it's 2022 010. I can select via the search, and it should show me all the, it's still filtering under all. Sorry. Yeah. So you can do the search as long as you deselect everything else.
Yeah.
Great.
And if you click on that CVE link, it will open up the Microsoft Security, portal, which will have
Oh, that's
information about
amazing.
this. Yeah. And I mean, I just love this because it's already in one place.
Yeah, exactly. So now I can directly log in here and see this was for a .NET code vulnerability. Exactly, get my executive summary. So no more jumping between different
Yeah,
menus and screens and contexts, right? Everything in one
absolutely.
place. Awesome.
Absolutely. And just think about how simple your life is going to become with this. Like,
Really
you
does
know.
make it a lot easier for everybody. Great. Uh, there we go. Back. Exception rules, like we mentioned previously, you can add them. And now, what could have happened in the past sometimes in environments, you go through this process, you're adding these exception rules, and then somebody new joins the team and they ask you, hey, where's those exception rules that we added? And then you got to say it's in some file somewhere. Where's the documentation? Now, with the exception rules built into a filter, you know exactly what you've excluded. It's not hidden, it's all available for you here. Saying, okay, guess what? We're excluding Defender for antivirus, or we're excluding Adobe Flash Player. All of this straight in one menu.
Yeah, and you do have an option to write and to mention like why are you excluding something, and maybe
Exactly.
you're just putting it there for some time and you want to come back and revisit that update, right? So you do have that information.
Exactly. Um, top scan errors, like I mentioned before, nothing to click in here, but at least there is a nice little
Mm,
report that you can come and search and see. Oh, guess what? We've had this so many times in our one environment, so this is the fix for it.
yep.
And then the admin guide, exactly what we mentioned earlier. One place to view all the documentation for this report.
Hmm.
And that is all from my side. Thank you so much for listening. And once
Thank
again,
you, Werner.
my great partner Sneha, helping me with this delivery and on the dev team. So we look forward to installing this in your environment.
Great. Thank you so much, Werner. It was really nice to know what has changed in this particular, MIP, and how can our customer get the new report. And the exciting part is it's all in one place.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Thanks. Take care.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye.